Good morning, Gary, Indiana. It's the Subexiled Show.
Hey, in Vietnam.
We're back here after literally a year. I believe it's been almost a year.
Which, yeah, we took the appropriate amount. It's actually probably been more, I believe, but we took the appropriate amount of time off our annual podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been about a year. This time you guys really, we've been saving them up. This is about the first time you guys have fully experienced the year-long break.
Yeah.
And now you'll notice that we have a new iTunes feed. The Stitcher feed's the same, and that we have a new website, hypnotichub.com.
We got all sorts of new things for your little boy ears.
Your little boy ears cannot get enough penetration on this new site, hypnotichub.com.
See us, we're big boys. You guys are little boys. We come in
hard.
We just go to town on your ears.
It
hard,
not,
fast.
It does not
it's
end.
long.
Yeah, it's about an hour long.
These are long podcasts. Yeah, this is going to be.
We break a lot of sweat
be
filming
quite the
these.
experience for you.
All right, but this is episode 12. Last episode we were live in Austin. I thought that we had some stuff we wanted to talk about about the trip after, but it's been so long I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's what waiting a year does to you. There's probably a better
after
there's
about
probably a better format we could do, but hell if I know what it is.
Live shows? I don't know. Speaking of live shows,
I guess that's the only option.
Yesterday was another day or another week gone by without stand-up for me, because I cannot find a single mic night on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Like, I have some jokes about being at a Tuesday or Wednesday night too. I just can't find a place within like a reasonable traveling distance for me. I'll hit it next week.
Yeah, I need to email the guy that I talked to for my stand-up and see if I can get back in with it, because I have no idea. Well, I meant to do it. I was trying to do 2 before the year ended, but then like the guy never emailed me back. Which on the website they said if they don't email back, that means that they're full. So
right.
I haven't attempted again.
I
figured New Year's would be busy.
Probably. Yeah, I didn't try the week after Christmas, or the day after Christmas, because it would have been the day after Christmas. But the issue is with my real job, my only days off are Tuesday, Wednesday, and so every time I want to do like an actual set, I have to find a day, Tuesday or Wednesday night, because I work later in the day too. And it's just hard to find. I live in a bigger city, you know. I'll get there one day. I want to do like once every week or two. Anyways, that's not what this show's about.
This show is about getting in the little boys.
No, we're moving past that part. I don't want to be affiliated.
New
with the little boys.
spokesperson for the Subexiled Show, Jared from Subexiled Show. No longer Subway. We bought him, and we got him for like nothing.
The man, it was being sold at an auction house. It was so weird. They brought out desks and chairs and tables, and then all of a sudden
they're like, pedophiles. Get your pedophiles here.
Fucking A, man. We need to. Oh yeah, we do have a new logo. That's pretty cool. It's not Jared.
It's not. Enough, I'm not opposed to making the new logo being Jared, though.
You mean all that time and effort I had getting that logo made, we're just gonna scrap it all.
Jared's out of work, bro.
Subway.
We could definitely use. I bet we can get him cheap.
Fucking pants up there. I don't know. Did you have anything you wanted to go over before we dive into topics? No ties.
Do you want to talk about the podcast, like what's going on, or do you just want to dive on in? Because I don't really have anything besides, I guess, the new stuff going on. We could talk about what's happening. I do have some stuff I want to talk about with all of the new stuff, but the issue is at the time of this recording, we just started re-uploading the old episodes, and they're going week by week, so you're probably not going to be hearing this until way after it's been recorded. It's currently, January 3rd. We just celebrated New Year's. Yes.
See, I mean,
buy your Tyler Hosbino shirt.
Buy your Tyler Hosbino shirts in the Hypnotic Hub shop. Right. So,
have you ever thought, hey, that little tie boy I keep hearing, I'd like him strapped to my torso? Well, now you can.
You can strap a little boy tie to your torso anytime you want to, for like $16.
Little boy tie for little boy. It's very reasonable. It's never been cheaper to get a boy on your chest.
Usually you have to pay like $500 an hour to get a little boy of that size in your chest. Nope. It's $16 for life with Ty the shirt. Anyways, but yeah, so I mean, there's been a lot of things going on. Initially, I just wanted a regular website for just the show, but then, I think big. I'm sure I'll release a bigger post actually on the site explaining, my thought process behind the whole thing. But yeah, there's going to be a bunch of shows. Phoenix from FWSX is getting his own podcast. Yeah. He sent me some artwork for that yesterday. There's this one where we just kind of, at this moment of recording it, I just kind of have put up some random videos on the site as well from our past. I think the Great Isaiah is going to do something at some point. I asked him if he wanted a podcast a while ago. I'm not sure if his answer still applies, but we'll see what happens. He'll definitely be on this show at some point. We tried to get George Zimmerman and Sarah Palin on the show, and I don't think they really responded to my media outreach attempts.
The Discord is not working too well right now.
It's not. Don't stop recording. I'll try to hang up and call you back.
I didn't. I can hear you now. I just saying. Hopefully, you didn't expect me to respond to what you just said.
Oh, I did.
I did not hear a word.
Okay, hold on. We'll cut it back, right? I'll repeat what I said, and then you can respond to it. I tried to get George Zimmerman and Sarah Palin to respond to this media post, but I don't think they really got it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, we got Jared, which I guess was nice, but it would be...
I don't know if he really wanted it. I think we just saw him at an auction house, and we bid on him, and no one else was willing to buy Jared from Subway, so we just won him.
We sent Ty up, and he was like, ooh, a little boy, and then he realized Ty was older than we are.
Ty's the Michael Jackson of comedy, really.
Ty is Michael Jackson, I agree.
Didn't we have a bit in the earlier episodes about Ty and something with Michael Jackson? Didn't he live with Michael Jackson or something to that effect?
Did he?
I don't know. He's dead too.
It's been like 12 years since we started recording those.
I know, right? It's been quite a long time. I don't know. The thought process behind doing this again is kind of long, and I'm sure we'll get into that at some point. However, we just really need to get back into the groove of doing the whole thing, right? So, I mean, we have some guest lines up, but what better way of doing that than just,
having none. Nothing brings it back like bringing the least interesting people on for the show.
We gotta get the core. I guess we are the least interesting people. Whatever. All right. Do you want to spin an old wheel? That's what I was getting at. It was spinning an old wheel.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in now, which I kind of prefer if you are, but yeah, if you're not familiar with the show. We got big old wheel of topics, and we spin that wheel, and we
money on a big wheel. We got a show budget from hypnotichub.com, and they said you can spend all the money on studio equipment, whatever you want for the show, and we just bought a big wheel.
We bought a wheel,
the biggest wheel we could actually get, and because we bought a new wheel, it has the latest in wheel technology. The wheel has a topic itself.
We went to the wheel store. We said, give me the biggest, bestest wheel you got. And they were like, well, this is unheard of. No one's ever ordered the wheel 5000.
We've been holding on to this wheel since the 80s. I don't think it's like Jumanji. You get sucked into the land of the wheel.
Legend told somebody would come around and buy the wheel. But we thought that was myth.
We thought that was legend. Anyways, I got a wheel here. It's time to blow off the old dust and give it a spin. What do you say?
Spin that wheel. Cue the music.
I'm not even gonna care that you said it this time. It's a new show. It's a new age. Oh, you know what?
Chemical. We forgot something.
We got to introduce ourselves, right? I'm Zachary Marshall. This is
Ethan
Coleman.
Well, I'm Ethan Coleman. But we forgot to do our annual song.
This is a new show. This is a new year. It's 2018, people. No one wants to hear songs.
Songs were a thing of the past. Music is is been left behind. Everybody likes reading now.
Reading is the hip new trend sweeping the nation's teenagers.
So that's why we're doing our improv poem.
I'm not limerically minded.
It's okay. It's all improv. Doesn't matter. Just say what comes to you.
There once was a boy from the water who was beat up a lot by his father. He came out of the lake and had a good shake and said, "Dad, I'm not one to bother." That was not bad. It's your turn. This is a Def Jam style poetry battle.
There once was a show named Subexiled, and it was a podcast that was on for a while. It was really nice, and studio infected with lice because the kids came by with a smile.
You heard it here first. Our studio's really nice, yet infected with lice.
No, back to pedophilia we go.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of that going around, spreading like lice. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's spin the wheel. Top albums of 2017. Well, not my Abbey Road joke.
Top albums.
Top albums of 2017. Yeah,
this is my topic. It's we're in 2018 and we're gonna be pretty late into 2018 by the time this comes out. But since music we've already decided is a thing of the past, we might as well cherish our history. Yeah, and then never speak of it again.
Talk about the greatest albums of 2017. Sorry, just died all of a sudden. Top albums 2017. For some reason, an awful lot of hip hop. I don't know what happened. Usually I diversify my musical interests. However, just hip hop artists just dominated in 2017. I don't know what happened. But that's
going to continue to happen. But yeah, there were like there was like one good rock album that I can think of that I listened to.
There's probably some like people that actually know of good music that are just losing their minds right now, obviously, because I'm sure tons of music came out that I would be absolutely into. It just didn't get to my ears, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, my little boy ears weren't able to be penetrated this year by the rock genre.
It was mainly a single body penetration as opposed to multiple penetrations coming from all sorts of cultures and peoples. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, so this year there were a few albums that came out. It was definitely a latter half of the year where everything kind of came out. I had some really great albums come out. Here's my issue with this year. There are a lot of really good albums that came out that I acknowledge were really good. My issue is I feel like I got a few really great albums and I got a ton of music, but a lot of the albums weren't necessarily got to great. They were just like, yeah, this is a good album, but they all so for instance, if I was going to rank like a top 3 list of albums, it would be Kendrick Lamar's Damn, Brockhampton's Saturation 2, and then after that, like for that third spot, pretty much everything's like a tie for me. Like I like all the music around the same. Like there's not a lot.
That's all the music. Above. There wasn't any song you heard this year that made you just want to lose your freaking mind.
No, not necessarily. Like, well, I'm talking like albums. I'm talking like for instance, like Brockhampton put out a lot. Maybe Saturation 3, but I don't think I've given that enough time to truly say that it could be in that spot. Brockhampton was big this year, which we became fans of Brockhampton. That was great for this year. We got tickets.
I don't know. I am going to see them in March. I don't know when your tickets are. I don't know if you'll see them before this episode comes out or not. Oh, right. So probably
January 29th or some shit.
Interesting. You're going to have to let me know how they are because I'm very interested. I've seen some videos of them recently and it's fucking all over the place.
Yeah, no, a lot of albums came out that were somewhat disappointing to me, that were and some surprised me. Biggest one being Eminem's album. I was expecting that to place higher on my list, and it didn't really do it for me. And
it was pretty disgusting towards the middle, right?
The middle is pretty god awful.
Risk cutting Eminem fans.
I am. If you've ever seen his performance of the real Slim Shady, where he got a ton of white boys coming in following, but I'm one of those, but I never left.
Snacks.
I am the real Slim Shady. That is a fact. I don't know. I think that the the album, to me, now when people are trashing it and say that it's bad, I don't go so far as to say that it's terrible or anything like that. I think that's just going.
Like
I think a lot of the people who say
6 or
that were
7 out of
going
10
in
at
wanting to.
best.
Yeah, exactly. I gave it a 6. Like a 6 seems fair. Like I like.
I
And
feel
honestly, I
you
like
could've taken
majority
half
of the
in the album
songs.
and made a good EP. I don't
Right,
know
and
what
it
in
would
the
have been a
world he was
really
thinking
good
with
album.
A lot of the cuts in the track, it was pretty freaking.
I think he was like, okay, so here's what I've heard Eminem does. He did this on the Marshall Mathers LP too, but I feel like there was more time that went into it. So I thought about it. He did a lot of songs like with Walk on Water, acknowledging the Speed'em verse, and Big Sean means that it was recorded, probably this year because Big Sean's verse was this year and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that I think he did. He says whenever he records an album, he said for this album he recorded around 40 to 50 songs, and those are the songs that made the cut. My theory is, and that's why the production I feel like was an issue.
He had a really hard time picking all the songs.
I some of the songs I don't know would be terrible if because this is one of the few times I've ever thought
Offended's
an
the only
Eminem
track
album
I ever
has
see myself
bad
going
beats.
back to.
You don't go to Framed?
I mean, I like it. I recognize its importance, but I don't listen to it again.
I fuck heavy with Framed. I like Framed. It's like Relapse without accents. But
I like the accents.
I also like the accents. I never had an issue with them, but I still like the song. But my theory is he recorded 50 songs, or some of the songs lyrically are pretty good and the flow is pretty nice, but the beats are not good. And I feel like a bit of that was just he recorded so many songs and he was just like, I need to get this album out, that he didn't finish the songs. He just got to a point where he's like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, he needed to release it while it was
out.
still relevant, He needed to still say something while it was still in the... before it got, too old to comment on. Because it was pretty current event type stuff he's talking about.
Yeah, it was a very current event heavy, but the album is all over the place in terms of he's trying to spread a message, but at the same time we'll have a song about murdering women and I don't know. It just doesn't it's a weird... I feel like he should have stuck to one topic. So if he wanted to talk about current events, that should have been the whole album. That should have been that. Well, I might have liked the overall. There would be less standout songs. I feel like as a cohesive project, it would have been better. But yeah, production wasn't great. I personally, I like more tracks than you do on it. The problem is the songs that aren't my favorites on the album are just meh to just genuinely bad. Like the Pink song, terrible. That is a terrible song.
Fucking Pink song.
The Skylar Grey song, it is a Pink song. The Skylar Grey song is not great production. I actually like the way he raps on it, but man, I don't care for the hook at all. And the mixing at the first part is just weird. Her vocals are insanely low.
Did you have any?
The Alicia Keys song, meh.
Did you have any other albums that aren't super hip hoppy that you could point to? I mean, you gave some examples earlier that you can speak to. But I genuinely sat down
that
and
I listened to. Oh, that I listened to the rock albums that I can think of that I listened to this year. Weezer came out an album and it was okay. It was a pretty average 5 out of 10 album. It's disappointing because Weezer put out a really great album last year and then put out an album this year that was just super poppy and not. I think there were some songs I liked. Haim dropped an album. I'd give it about the same score. They weren't that great. The Father John Misty album was pretty good. The Pure Comedy, I believe, is the name. That album was the one album I can look to. Is while I'm not in the mood to listen to a lot of the songs from it, I can at least acknowledge that it's an objectively very good album.
Right. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, just music this year, I've just stuck to my few collective artists that I like, and I just fucking went with it. I didn't really experiment around a whole lot like what I usually do. I don't know. I need to kind of broaden my horizons. The only non-hip hop artist I can point to is Marilyn Manson again, that I enjoyed from. Although it was pretty weird this time around with his album. It was kind of he needs a new sense of direction.
Well, this year feels
like
a rock year. I think we got their hip hop this year, and we're gonna have, at least from my favorite hip hop artists, all kind of put out their albums this year. So we're probably not going to get another one. Maybe Kendrick will do something, but I don't think Kendrick's gonna release another album this year.
Right. So
I do kind of have hopes Eminem could maybe do something.
To us ramble on about hip hop artists can probably shut the fuck up after a while once other artists start rolling in.
Yeah.
2018.
2018,
White, oh my God.
like, Jack White is going to be early. Arctic Monkeys are also coming out with an album. Vampire Weekend for me, I know you're not a fan, but those are like, that's a pretty, I'm excited for, I mean, it's been, I think, around 4 years for Jack White, and it'll be around 5 for Arctic Monkeys. So I'm hoping, and Jack White
for Jack White too, because I'm a big Jack White fan. And then just all of a sudden, in about like a week or two span, there's some like clips out of some new songs, and he's announcing a bunch of headlining stuff. And I don't know, I'm pretty pumped to see what's coming out with him.
I think this is finally going to be a more I don't know about experimental, but it sounds more jazzy to me. I like the sound, what I heard from the samples. I think that's going to, it's what I want from a Jack White album. Because what I normally get from a Jack White album is some awesome rock songs I really enjoy, some kind of cool-ish country, kind of bluesy songs. But like, it becomes too formulaic. Like solo Jack White, you can kind of expect something. And I feel like this album, I'm going to expect
He's more of a loose cannon.
Less.
He's going to go out and talk about the Jews for 5 minutes. Remember that one time
stand-up
Jack
comedy,
White was talking about
an anti-Semitic
stand-up
comedy routine.
He pulled a Kramer on us.
Did he do that?
He just came up. It was that one song where he was like something about a tree. I forget what it was. I'll have to find it for you. I don't want to play it over here. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to touch up on the albums of the year? Is there anything that we're missing here?
Just a big thing, like, hip hop was really cool. Tyler, the Creator, had a good album. Rhapsody had a good album.
I don't have a lot of. The Creator album was a big standout this year.
It was a great album. The problem is it just doesn't have a lot of replayability for me. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I listened to about 4 tracks since it came out, so I can't really put it as my personal. Like, I'd rate it higher than certain albums. Like, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. I just personally don't go back to it a lot. But I don't know, Damn just set up my expectations so high. I feel like it should have came out later. Like, that was like, when I heard Damn, I was like, holy shit, that was amazing.
Everyone at the beginning with his technical
and he did.
skills.
I mean, no one put out another album that I thought was of the same level as Damn.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously when you reach a certain status, you have access to, a lot more materials and time and money. I don't know. I just feel like he had a lot of it to make.
Eminem kind of dropped the ball on that department. he has
a good example of you can have a lot of money and still release something that probably isn't the best.
I don't even know what the issue was with that. That's just something that I'm like, you have one of the best hip-hop producers in the world at your disposal.
Like, oh, Dad, you released this album. Oh, boy.
Well, the problem... Yeah, I wonder what because I'm like, as a young... Like, being, like, young, it's not cool to like Eminem. Like, certain people do, but I feel like it's cool to hate on Eminem. So I wonder if she goes to college and...
My dad's
although I feel like... I don't think people would go up to Haley, though, and be like, hey, your dad sucks. Like, I feel like they do it.
She hears that all the time.
A lot of people
I feel like she keeps the personality
I
separate.
think they would be like... I disagree. I think she goes to college and people will be like, they hate on Eminem, but now that they know somebody who's close to Eminem, and I don't think so. I wouldn't go up to Haley and be like, hey, your dad sucks. Your dad's a little bitch, ain't he?
Because she'd call him, and you have to deal with that motherfucker coming over to your house every other night.
He'd send 50 Cent to come kick the shit out of me.
I feel like Eminem's, like, he could be, like, really white and honky-like and just very dad, like, overall, but he probably still knows Suge Knight. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but Suge Knight wanted to kill Eminem.
Oh, really? Well, Suge Knight wants to kill everyone.
Yeah, there's like something... Yeah, he wants to kill everybody. He wants to give everybody the AIDS.
That's how easy he died. All right. You want me to spin the wheel?
Yeah, spin the wheel.
I'm spinning the wheel. Damn. All right, this is my topic. You are a monster hidden in the closet of a little kid's room. How do you fuck up his life? How do you mess with the kid? You're hiding in the closet. You've been doing it for years. The parents always come and shoo away the child. But now it's your time to shine. It's time for you to finally come out and give the kid what's coming to him. What do you do to the kid?
So, I get a few. Number one, I want to. If I was gonna be obviously, if I'm in the closet, I would be gay. That is, I am a gay monster in his closet, and it's similar to Monsters Inc., except it's called Monsters Twink.
You jumped really hard on that homosexual angle, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, so I'm part of Monsters Twink, and what we do, we're an organization of gay monsters who go around to little boys'
this
rooms.
Episode's gonna get taken down. Holy shit!
It wouldn't be an episode of Sub-Exiled Show if I didn't offend some group of people.
It wouldn't be an episode of our show if we barely skated hate crimes.
But so I go around. It's not hate. I'm accepting myself as a gay monster.
I scare little boys, and I know it.
You're a monster. I'm gay. But I go around. I'm in a closet. And I go around, and what I do is I sprinkle a little bit of gayness all over his room. I tidy it up a little bit. I put handsome shirtless boys. No, my brother's gay, and he's not very clean. But no, I put shirtless boys all over his room.
Left and right, and I can't handle this.
Excuse, let me finish. I'm putting shirtless boys all over his room, and what I do is I go around and I
finish. He's putting shirtless boys all over the room.
Please, I need this. Let me finish.
This is your job now.
But his wardrobe gets a whole new change. Tight pants, ascots are the gayest of clothing. And he's now, like, his dad walks in, and his dad is like, he's one of those where he's like, he's not against gay people, but he definitely doesn't want his son to be gay. So he's walking, he's like, Jimmy, what's with all this shitless boy gay stuff? That's how his dad talks. And he's just like, Dad, no, it was the gay monster. Is the gay monster in my closet.
And
he opens it up.
They're poisoning the water.
Alex Jones comes into my room every night and says, "You're a gay little boy, aren't you?" And he starts sprinkling his gayness everywhere.
You're a gay little boy, aren't you? You gotta say it like Alex Jones.
So yeah, that's what I would be.
So you're just Alex Jones.
He would be the.
And you're just walking into the room with a bunch of naked men. And
I rub frogs all over people, and I turn them gay, or whatever the fuck it was with the frogs and gayness.
It's the water is turning the friggin' frogs gay. Is the verbatim quote from Alex Jones.
Something we've been fearing for years.
First our boys, then our frogs. What's next?
If they get to the crows, this whole country's gone to the shit. God, Alex Jones is right.
I don't know. I feel like if I was a kid, I gotta take something that's like perceived as innocent. Well, not if I was a kid. If I was a monster, I have to take something that's perceived as innocent and turn it scary, like how what they did with clowns and It and John Wayne Gacy. I don't know. What could I do to take from innocent to scary? How can I make it creepy? It could probably be like bunny slippers. Bunny. I'd be a big bunny, and I'd have big scary teeth, and I'd eat your face off.
Chemical, we can't both be Alex Jones.
I don't know if I'd describe Alex Jones as a big bunny. I don't know.
That eats your face off.
I don't think that's how it goes. Man, I wish we had a little more preparation for this episode. I feel like we don't have in between things. I feel like we my topic was a little under researched. I don't know what research I could have done on that topic.
It's all right. That's all right. We just keep it going. We fling with the punches. We scream in the schoolyard. We just keep it going. All right. Hit me with the next thing.
Do you mean spin the wheel, or do you mean try to think of something else? Or?
I don't know. Are you done with your monster?
I don't know. I don't have a monster, but I'll spin the wheel. Okay. Let's see here.
All right. I think that also we have It's the first episode. We're getting back into things. Next episode we'll have a guest. I feel like next episode we'll have somebody.
There will be a guest.
It might not be someone big. There will be like, could be Ty, could be Isaiah, but still, we'll have a guest.
We're still waiting on George Zimmerman and Sarah Palin. If they don't get back to
there's
Isaiah, there's
we will
Ty,
kick whoever the fuck is on that week if we can get George Zimmerman on.
Maybe we can keep Isaiah and George Zimmerman on. I don't know. Maybe we can.
That'll be. And in fact, we won't even be on that week. It's just gonna be Isaiah and George Zimmerman.
I'll be like, Isaiah, do you want to get on a podcast with us? I'm like, oh sure. We walk into a room with him, and we're sitting aside, and there's George Zimmerman on a table sitting by himself, staring at Isaiah, and then we sit Isaiah down in a chair and go, well, goodbye. We walk out and lock the door. Did you hear he threatened to beat up Jay-Z?
George Zimmerman, yeah, I think I did hear about that. George Zimmerman's a crazy little boy. We probably shouldn't talk bad about George Zimmerman just because if we want him on the podcast.
He might respond to my podcast acceptance request.
Yeah, on the in case he does his research. On the off
chance we ever get George Zimmerman on this show, I don't want to bad mouth the guy. I know he shot someone. I know he shot an unarmed young boy. I don't want to offend him.
And then beat
though.
The shit out of his wife.
Oh my god, you remember that thing where he was trying to sell paintings that he made and it was really just stock photos of the American flag? He was trying to pass them off as original George Zimmerman paintings.
I hope he just got like an actual piece of art, just like in Sharpie wrote George Zimmerman at the bottom.
He just it's a photo of an American flag, and he, with the fattest marker he could find, writes George middle name Zimmerman overneath the entire photo. Like, it's just the whole photo, and sells it for $1 million. By the way,
George Zimmerman would be fun.
Yeah, so if you're looking forward to future guests, there's the great Isaiah, Ty, Ben from Cagdo, perhaps a musician we're trying to get in contact with, and then George Zimmerman. You just look out
George
for those.
Zimmerman
That's our set
is the
list.
big one.
George Zimmerman is the big
if
one.
If you thought 2018 was going to be George Zimmerman-less, you were wrong.
2018 is a George Zimmerman's year. Could you imagine if he was posting
George
stuff like
Zimmerman's
that on
coming back in a big way.
Oh my god. Could you imagine
2018
George Zimmerman
is the year of George Zimmerman.
Could you imagine if George Zimmerman was making Facebook posts like, y'all can have 2017 back. 2018 is George Zimmerman's year. Oh my god. Alright, but before I spin this wheel, just let you know that look around on the Hypnotic Hub website. I'm sure I actually have a post detailing, stuff that's going around here, some different shows and stuff. So just wanted to make sure I made that clear. I'll probably post a link in the description here. Do you have anything else you want to comment on before I spin the wheel?
I was going to talk about this, and this may not be 100%. I should probably talk to you not about this on air, but whatever. I think possibly, if you're watching this on iTunes or listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever the fuck, I listen to it on iTunes personally because I have an iPhone and it's formatted well for me. I like it on there, but I feel like if you wanna watch an episode early or listen to an episode early, I feel like are we gonna do it on the website first?
Well, the thing about it is it posts on the website to get to iTunes or Stitcher. I mean, I wish I could do something like that. I mean, I'm trying to keep everything free at this point. If you want to support us or support the site, go to hypnotichub.com and click on shop and buy the shirts. We don't get a whole lot of money from them, but it's you'll spread the word by just wearing there's a Sub-Exiled show shirt with our cool fucking new logo on there. You can wear that around, support the show, support the website, support Ty.
Tyler Hosbino shirt.
We'll get a couple dollars.
It's a picture of Tyler Hosbino. Tyler Hosbino, hot enough to be on a shirt and hot enough to make the ladies take their shirt off.
Remember when we were in Austin and the waiter went by and he was wearing a shirt that said Mike Hunt, and then the girl walked by and was like, "Oh, I like your shirt," and Ty was like, "Was she hitting on me?"
No, Ty, I think she liked your shirt. Hey guys, I think my shirt's too sexy.
I think I might need to take it
Women
off.
just want to have sex with me.
Ty, please, we're at dinner. No, but
Ty, listen, if you don't want women to have sex with you, trust me, taking off your shirt is not the solution. You're gonna have women all around.
on the website.
We did try getting Ty to show off in front of several attractive women when we were in Austin. Oh, we did.
He needed it was a bet. I forget what the wager was, but we were gonna give him like $10-$20.
The motherfucker was gonna make between $20 to $40. All right.
All he had to do was walk up in front of a pool full of women and flex and go, "Hey, ladies, I'm Tyler Josebino, and welcome to the gun show." And he didn't do it. I don't know why he didn't do it.
I would have.
But now he's on a t-shirt.
He was like, "You guys wouldn't have done it." I was like, "I would have done it if I would have been handed. If you guys were gonna pay me that much money, I would have absolutely done it. Would I have done it for like $10? No. But like, he was making pretty good money to just go embarrass himself in front of strangers he'd never meet again.
We're gonna pay him handsomely.
There are people. Yeah. We didn't tip our waiter that night because we were gonna pay him.
Instead, the waiter got a $40 tip.
We're like, if we can't use this on Ty, I guess it goes to you.
Right. I feel like I had one more thing to comment on. Oh, yeah, I was gonna comment on the store and a bunch of stuff like that, but I feel like again I have a post somewhere explaining all my thought process behind that and stuff too. Just muck around. Just keep watching. Keep coming back to the site. Really, buy a shirt if you really want to, and just reach out to me. That's pretty much it for the moment. I'm sure we'll release like future stuff. I want to do the site differently. I wanted to like actually like print off shirts at the beginning and try to like have it a little more customizable. But it is what it is for now. I'm sure we'll come out with exclusive content at some point. But I just want to make sure we're getting good quality stuff on the site at the moment. Anyways, spinning the wheel. Should I spin the wheel? I think I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Yes, spin that wheel.
I don't know if the wheel of sound effects is gonna change anyways. Oh boy, we're just going back to back topics here. This one's Ethan. It's just big dick twins. I don't know what I don't know what this topic means. I don't know if you're trying to get at something.
So I have a theory. I may have talked to you about this before, but I do want to know what your opinion is. Okay, so I was thinking about this I thought about this actually. So when I was in college, I had a roommate. My first year of college, I had a roommate that was a twin, and his twin brother didn't go there. His twin brother didn't go there, but I was with him, whatever. So I thought about this. I never asked him about it, but I thought about this. You're a twin. You look just like your twin in every aspect. Is your dick the same size as your twin?
I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, I know a lot of it's based on, upbringing, right? Like the chemical imbalance. There's a lot of like epigenetics, right? Where it's like the chemicals you put into your body, the way you treat your body.
Depends on what shows you watched.
One of them was a Pepsi kid, the other one was a Coke kid. I can't tell what happened down
Coke
there. I'm just
obviously has a big dick. There's no way Pepsi's giving you big dicks.
Is the thing. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if that makes
that might
difference.
cause some shrinkage. Diet Coke is the steroids of the soda world, except it gives no benefits.
I need. There goes our sponsors. If we ever need to get sponsored by a soda company, there we go. That's out the window.
We'll take a regular Coke sponsor. I swear to God, Diet Coke. Even though you're the same company, we don't want you.
I like Coke Zero. I like that. Actually, when I go out to order, I order a Diet Coke or
Coke Zero's good.
Coke Zero
I don't have an issue with Coke Zero. I just think Diet Coke tastes bad. I prefer regular Coke, but my dad always has Coke Zero, and I enjoy Coke Zero. I've never been like, I won't have a Coke Zero. I bet if you tried Diet Coke now, you'd probably like it a little more. No, I have never liked Diet Coke that much. I would rather genuinely drink Pepsi than Diet Coke.
Weren't you the same guy that was like, if I went to a school that only served Pepsi, you would like throw a fit and like not go to school there?
Yeah, I'd shoot up the school, I believe was my words.
Smart choice of words, really. It shows how passionate you are about your soda.
I'm glad I said that on a recording.
Do you remember the early iterations of the Subject Salad Show? I mean, you can look back at all the previous posts here. We did re-upload them. I know it took a while to get them all back on iTunes and stuff like that. But you can go back and listen to them. But there's episodes even before, if you look deep enough on YouTube, where at first we were just doing prank calls and we just needed a show name for it. And we had John on one time. And do you remember when he prank called the NRA saying he was going to shoot up a high school? That was the worst decision. I can't believe that we can't advertise on that.
There's some things. Here's the thing. If this show ever gets popular, I am not excited for the flack I'm going to get for some of the shit I've said in earlier episodes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I said some really stupid stuff in the earlier episodes. I mean, I've talked to you about this. I don't think I've said it publicly. I don't like having a lot of like the politically charged stuff we have up right now. It's because a lot of my views have changed. It's been over a year, right?
Yeah, but like that's something that's just like you're young and have an opinion. Well, I've said some genuinely bad things about our friend Isaiah. I have.
I literally the first.
I have compared him to a certain animal.
You didn't do it justice by earlier today saying you wanted to sit him down in a room with George Zimmerman and lock the door. That didn't really help it out. But
that one's funny.
Literally the first episode we bring Isaiah on. Isaiah's a really good friend of ours. You're a writer for his show. We've met in real life. I mean we've hung out. Like he's a really great dude. We were still kind of hanging out with him at first when the show was first starting off. And the second episode of the show had Isaiah on it. It was the very first time he was on the show. It's called Episode 2, How to Fix Africa. I don't know if you remember that, but that's on the site. You can scroll down further and find that shit, man.
Yeah.
Right. I wish we could go back, and I don't want to say whitewash stuff because it is a part of history. It is, you can see our senses of humor and, I suppose our moral compass kind of changing a little bit and getting a little more mature. I appreciate the humor. I appreciate the energy. I appreciate the enthusiasm of those previous episodes, but hopefully with this, I mean, we're trying to increase quality. We're trying to actually build up, an actual presence on the web now. Hopefully, it comes across a little more polished. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
I hope that hopefully it gets, because I think there were some funny things, but there are some things that I've said where it's just like, because I'm not a person who is I like being offensive. I don't mind that. But there's a level of where offensiveness is distasteful, and I feel like I've made those jokes before, right. So I'm not excited for that backlash.
We crossed those lines, you know what I mean? And I suppose it was us just trying to figure out where exactly our boundaries are. What exactly do we feel comfortable with? And I feel like we have a good idea of that now. However, that being said, I did. Who did I call a faggot earlier? I don't know. I don't.
Eminem.
I know. I just laughed at it again, but yeah. I mean that's the type of stuff that I need to like just fucking chill out on,
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it gets better. Anyways, big dick twins.
Big dick twins. Jesus
I'm just thinking, imagine if you had a brother, you look exactly the same of him, and the only defining feature between the two of you is that your twin brother has just a huge cock. Like, it's not even like yours is small, it's just like comparatively, it's just like his is so big that like just picture prom night with you and your date and him and his date. And then she thinks she's with the good twin.
How would anyone
and
know
then
unless
she
someone's
knows
like hooked up with both?
I feel like someone would be like, wow, this twin. I feel like, all right, let's say that somebody has had sex with both of these twins in this scenario. A few people, maybe just one, doesn't matter. Either way, people have talked about like, wow, this twin's dick is huge. And the other one, they were like, hey, is the other twin like that? And then the girl's like, it's not bad, but it's I wouldn't say it's huge.
It's not
it's
like Derek. It's not.
Just, it's nowhere near Derek big. I just am wondering. That seems like the worst thing in the world, to be growing up and just know that you're like, because it's like, everyone will confuse you two, but it's just like, which one is it? And then he's got to like whip out his elephant trunk, and then people are just like, it's the good twin.
Derek right there. That's you. It's the trademark classic Derek right there. 12-inch cock.
That's a Derek dick.
Hey, didn't we make a video about that or something?
I think it was literally called Derek's Dick.
The name of a video. I had a fan yesterday tweet at me. It was Tom Wyndham. Shout out to Tom Wyndham. He's not a day one, but he's been there forever. He's probably the biggest fan.
We've shout out Tom Wyndham a lot. It's good to be Tom Wyndham.
Yesterday he tweeted at me the how to get a job video, and I forgot about that. That video got a lot of views, and I
think I saw that. Yeah.
Right, because I mean we've spent a whole lot of time and effort working on some projects, but for some reason how to get a job was like a big one. I don't know why that happened.
It just blew up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Maybe it blew up for our standards, not by anyone else's. But
oh right, yeah, we didn't make bank off of it, but like we got somewhat recognized. I'm trying to keep the machinima videos off the site a little bit. I mean, I know I uploaded the Optimal Disappointments just because I felt like that was a big project, a big milestone of us, and then I uploaded Isaiah's Halo Butt Buddies because I feel like Isaiah gets a pass.
Well, hey, Isaiah's is a little bit more well done as well as respected. But yeah, so what would you do in that scenario if you had a brother? Like do you think that would be an issue? Like genuine?
Man,
like really I feel like it's okay to have an older brother with a bigger dick than you, but to have a twin is just about the worst thing.
Are you projecting your feelings? Is this?
I don't have a twin.
You have a brother.
I don't have a twin.
Oh, I get it now. So you've realized you've come to terms with your situation. It's just you'd think that if there was an extra knife twist in it, that it would really hit home to you.
You're right. It's been really hard for me to accept that my brother's dick will never be as big as mine.
You're an evil, twisted old man. I don't know.
I speaking of small dicks and brothers, my little brother,
excuse me?
And he's 3, but no, my little brother and my sisters, they like when they were younger, they all took baths together because that's what you do when you have a bunch of kids around the same age. So they were all in the bath, and my little brother, he used to like to stand up and touch his penis in the bathtub, and my sisters thought it was funny, so they would point and laugh at his little baby penis and go ha ha ha, and then he thought it was funny, but then I thought, what if he remembers this, though, into the future? Because his only experience, then, of a woman seeing his penis would be them laughing and pointing at him.
I'm not sure if saying this on this show publicly is probably the best action. But, we'll cross that road when we get there.
I think that's going to be a stand-up bit I do, so.
Right. We need to post more stand-up bits on the site, too. The site needs to be more comedy-oriented. Whatever. Do you want wheel spin now? We have a lot of topics here.
Yeah, we can spin that wheel.
I'll spin it. It's been spun. I landed on the same one, so I'm spinning again. Let's see. Okay, so we just landed on the wheels first ever topic. I'm honestly pretty excited. I'm honestly pretty excited to hear what the wheel's opinion is. I don't know what its personality is like. I've never heard the wheel give an opinion ever, but here it goes. Okay. Is it true that the Sub-Exiled show illegally funnels money through offshore bank accounts to North Korean concentration camps in exchange for cheap podcast editors?
Okay. Now this has been a rumor that I've been hearing going around for a while.
First, I've been hearing this too. I've been seeing photos, some drone photos, and some documents tweeted at me recently as well. I'm not sure who is going around spreading this information. I think it needs to stop.
It's absurd that anybody would believe this, okay? Is part of it, yes. Okay, do we have relations with North Korea? Sure. Are we getting it funneling money to get cheap editors?
What even is a funnel?
No, buying a bigger wheel possibly. We could make an argument for that.
Yeah, we can make an argument that North Korean
it's absurd.
Laborers built us a wheel. I think that's about as far as
if you want to talk about
go.
That. That's in that, and that will be about all I say.
I don't think my lawyer doesn't want me to say much more than there's a wheel.
He didn't want me to speak at all on this. He said, "Hey, don't let that wheel talk."
He said, if that wheel ever says a goddamn word. Yeah,
I'm gonna filibuster his ass, which is not a lawyer thing.
It's not a lawyer thing at all. I don't know who we're hiring as lawyer. There's a lot of shady business going on here. But yeah, listen, we here at the Subject Out Show, we don't know what a funnel is. We barely know how to handle money. I've never even been off the shore. So yes, there's a wheel. Yes, North Korea is involved. But I'm not really allowed to comment. I'm not really allowed to speak. And goddamn is this wheel awfully politically minded. I didn't know its personality was so uppity. I didn't know it had so much sass to it.
Hey, that's what you get when you hire a North Korean wheel.
When you hire a North Korean wheel, it's just nothing but sass. You would figure it'd be grateful, right, to be out of its country, or it just wouldn't shut up about how great it was there. We're doing it a favor. It's just trying to dig up dirt on us. It's really just trying to attack our character. I don't think we should give the topic any more light of day. I think we should just leave it. We should just leave it as it is.
You're treading on thin ice, wheel.
We might have to send you. I mean, you've never been there, but we might have to send you to North Korea if you keep.
But
this
now
nonsense
it's a threat.
Yeah, we're threatening you with violence, like what George Zimmerman did to Jay-Z. Okay, let's move on here. I don't appreciate its tone. It doesn't physically speak.
Fucking blabbermouth.
But I don't appreciate the tone in which it types, so I'm going to spin the wheel. Let's just say top movies of 2017. I got myself a movie pass. I am not advertising them, so I should have seen more movies. However, I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I haven't seen Star Wars yet. I just saw Jumanji. I saw 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri. I'm trying to think of other movies I've seen. It's not been a whole lot, but I've seen some movies. I know what a movie is.
Listen, I've seen movies. I've been around the block. All right, I saw a few movies this year. I have seen.
When George
this
E.
has
Wellington
been this has been a
movie.
few. I was there.
I was cranking the handle. Yeah, bet you didn't know that was me.
I was that hamster running, keeping the power on.
Was that how they did it? Was that how they did it back then?
Yeah. They dressed me up as a furry little boy, and I just ran.
Oh, so they didn't even use real mice. They just dressed people up like mice to run them.
No. They weren't around yet. This is, believe it or not, they had the concept of mice down because they knew how to dress York, boys. Exactly.
They didn't perfect
mice,
it yet.
Mice were. Well, you can't domesticate a rat.
It was all in science fiction, right? So that's why they had to dress you up as a rat. Or as a mouse, I'm sorry. A mouse, rather.
So they would call me, back then I was called a muss. They didn't
really?
I didn't
know the American accent had that sort of dialect with it. Yes, a muss.
These were different times.
Different times? What times were these? I'm
about the would we say the 1930s? Does that sound right to you?
Which region in the 1930s?
It could have been any of the good cities.
The good cities. You're talking about the tri area of St. Paul, Quarterback Nation, and St. Pierre.
Those are the ones. I was there. I was dressed up as a little mouse
as they'd
boy.
say back then.
Yeah, they stutter a few times. That was because our English tongues couldn't quite say. It was mouse speak, obviously. But we did our best trying to. It's like Klingon today.
Were you a method actor?
To try and speak it.
Did they just put you in the role of a mouse and you had to live it out for a week before your performance at the movies?
Yeah, I lived amongst the rats. Is what
walls.
I did.
If I remember correctly, they stuffed you in the walls and fed you cheese. And they had hordes of thousands of cats chase you to the premiere, if I remember correctly.
See, yeah, back then, I had this cat who I would say was my enemy. I think is fair to say. I used to be before I took on my human name of Ethan Coleman. My name was Jerry. I was Jerry the Mouse.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And when you did the partner upsize, when they kind of butted you up, it was, what was this, Thomas? Thomas the cat?
Thomas the cat, and Jerry the Mouse.
The Moose.
was who, the Moose.
The Moose.
That's who we were. And so we would get into all, because back then, you know, you constantly had to be on the lookout, because this was way back when pianos were falling on people and anvils were falling from the sky,
railroad tracks.
and tied to railroad tracks.
And you had to pick a side. You couldn't just untie the girls. You had to pick which way the train went and decided how many girls would be slaughtered today. It was a day when you just woke up and that would be your choices.
We went through some test runs. There were a few things, and it was the past, you know. So smoking was accepted and it was healthy for you, and we tied women to trains. That's what we did. So we got into a little bit of a scuffle, me and this cat, Thomas. Now we're good friends today. He's been doing very well, and some of it was just
where are they now
for
of Jerry the Mouse,
right?
And Thomas the cat,
and
it would be nice to know that
we're doing very well,
right? It's like Drake and Josh.
Yeah, no, he started up his own law firm, if you'll believe that.
Wow, what? He started up his own. Fucking awful. So,
yeah, doing very well. I might have been the mouse, but he was making the cheddar.
So, if you were a mouse,
so yeah, we got into all sorts of scuffles
reels to run on for projector reels for which movie premiere?
Wheels of Cheese. There were all sorts of them.
Right, no, listen, I understand Wheels of Cheese is probably top of your list of wheels, but if you were to run, let's say to a movie premiere in 2017, back like you did in the 1930s, which movie premiere would you run to?
Well, the problem is mice, back then referred to as mech.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know this about the English language.
Well, when you've lived amongst rats and subway tunnels
they had the
and
subway
inside
in
of walls,
1930.
you start to and that in movies.
What a revolutionary time! The Roaring '20s really swept the
exactly.
nation.
Now, it was the metro, the subway. It was on the down low, of course.
The down low. It was a mob-controlled affair.
Yeah,
the
down low. It was
a real alcohol.
It was an underground railroad for mice. It was a railroad
underground, so to speak, where we would all sneak down and escape.
and you know, we had to look out. This is different times, as I've said several times. And we being a mouse, you can't find work today in the movies as a mouse today. It just doesn't happen.
Let me ask you this. Go to Google. Type in mouse acting roles.
Yeah.
Type in mouse lead acting roles. You will not find a single search result. You know Stuart Little was CG.
I can't.
They didn't even cast
Stuart was the last.
I don't know.
They didn't. And it's insulting because what they did is they got is before, at the very least, you had to wear the hair and you had to play the part for the mouse. But no, it was in this scenario. They got one of those suits, the mocap suits, and they put a human being in there,
and like it had for true mouse.
And it's absurd. Which is offensive. Now I get we've gone past mouse face back, because back in the olden days, I mean, it was accepted to be in mouse face,
right.
but again,
Jerry
these were
Seinfeld
different.
used
I
to do
didn't feel
mouse
good
face, but
about what I was doing.
It was only
Yeah,
to like show
he
support
was.
for
He
the
was.
mouse
A
actors.
lot of Jerrys were mice. A lot of Jerrys were mice.
There were tons of Jerry mice. Little did you know, famous comedian Jerry Seinfeld happens to be a mouse, or a moose, as he was called back.
He is what that was. Now again, that's a word I'm allowed to say because I've been kind of integrated into their culture.
We don't call them mooses anymore. We call them
yeah,
mice
yeah. See, I come from the streets, and by that I mean I lived in the streets. I was underground, and I lived amongst my mess and my mix, and you know, we're allowed to say those words. But yeah, you definitely today. I mean, it would be very hard to get away with saying some of that, but no, I think, unfortunately, I don't think they let me anywhere near a movie theater if I came in dressed like a mouse. Believe it or not, they would call the authorities. They would say, "Get this mouse out of here,"
and say it was a sanitation hazard or a health.
Yeah,
risk.
they would call the health inspector, which is
just a fancy name for a cat with a big butterfly net, and
that's
and they'll come into the store and just you know, net you up, and that was the last they'll hear for. And
again, I have no problems. I have no problems with cats or mice, or I'm friends with all of them. But there are some bad. There are some bad cats out there, all right? There are good cats and there are bad cats,
yeah, right.
And that's just something we need to accept.
There's
because
some really great cats and there's some really bad cats.
A lot of times, a lot of people like to blame the mouse, but I'll tell you what, us mix, we were clever back then. I mean, I would hit Thomas with hammers and dynamite. And it was difficult. It was striving. This was back when people had little holes in their walls, so mice could live in there.
Right. It was very accommodating. People had spaces in their houses for mice, little holes in the corner that were built there, just like that.
Yeah.
And they supported them. They hid them like shoes in the ground. So when those Gestapo
Jews
cats
also
came
commonly referred to as mice. They would rats even.
If you watched Inglourious Bastards, you know exactly what we're talking about.
You know exactly that metaphor and that comparison is surprisingly accurate.
I don't know about
that. Me being a Jewish mice man myself.
I feel like this is where I have to draw the line in this bit and just say I feel like saying that the Jew rat metaphor in Inglourious Bastards definitely isn't accurate at all.
Well, again, these were different times.
Oh yes,
sir.
Of course.
You
Back
were
in
not
1939. They were different times.
Yeah, if you were around back when the movies were starting and the underground railroad called the subway was around. Yeah, there was. You know, I'm just saying. Today, you can't walk into a movie theater dressed as a mouse because they're gonna call the cats on you, and it's not fair.
What's funny about that though is the mice really control a large percentage of the filmmaking industry. They just can't go to movies.
They do.
But try to find a mouse role. You won't find a single one.
They don't have a lot of on-screen persona, but they're definitely in the background. For every great movie, there is an equally great mouse in the background. You will always find the backbone of American cinema has always been founded on mice.
All right, do you actually want to touch upon movies you liked this year? Because it's been...
What the fuck was the topic? Yeah.
It was top movies of 2017 was the topic. Were you just waiting for me to bail you out the whole time?
I couldn't remember for the life of me what the topic was, so I was trying to remember. I know, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't figure out why it got stemmed to that. That was that was absurd. Yeah, everyone's already tuned out at that point, so they got to miss that.
That'll eventually be what the show is, just 24/7 of just that style improv. All right.
But yeah, there's some good movies this year. This is a weird year for movies. 3 Billboards, fantastic movie. I saw
9.8 out of 10.
I would give it probably around the same. I don't think it could get a 10, but goddamn is it close. Like, I have a lot of trouble thinking of any flaws.
Because it pretty much did everything right.
Well, yeah, I don't really know what it did wrong, so I have trouble not giving it a 10. Like, maybe it went a little bit too long is my kind of
the end there,
complaint.
It seemed like the movie was going to end, and then it would just keep going, and then something was going to end again, and then it would keep going, and then it would do the same thing, and it was pretty cool. It kept stringing me along. It kept me guessing, but, like, eventually it was pretty exhausting because I was like, okay, I've been expecting this movie to be over for 45 minutes now, and it's still going, but I still really like it. Like, it was different.
Yeah, no, I saw a lot of really good movies. Surprisingly, normally I see a lot more movies this time of year. I go see all the Oscar movies. That's kind of my favorite time of year for movies. I haven't seen as much this year. 3 Billboards is kind of the big one I saw. I saw a lot of movies early on. I went to a film festival this year. I have the Alamo Drafthouse, a theater that's near me, and there's a few of them around the world. They have a film club, and they hold a festival each year for a bunch of local. It's everyone in the film club. You buy a pass called Lost Weekend, and they all come in, and we watch movies for a weekend straight. I don't watch every movie because I only go see the movies I like. But I saw My Friend Dahmer there. I saw Brigsby Bear there. I saw a really funny movie named Infinity Baby. That was really funny. There's another film that was like this indie film from this like first time director called Super Dark Times. It was really good. There were a lot of really good movies I saw there. I saw this one Chinese movie though. No, it was Japanese. It was a Japanese movie that, man, it was not good. I also saw this French film there that was super boring, but the Japanese movie was one of those movies that I thought was going to be so well, so it wasn't necessarily debuting. Now the French movie was new. It came out this year. It was not great. Some people tried justifying in the theater. I was like, yeah, there's some moment. It was shot really well. Cinematography was great, but fuck, it was boring. It's called Thelma. It was super boring. I did not enjoy it. I think Your Movie Suck also gave it like the same rating I gave it, which is like a 5. It was just meh. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, I saw a lot of really cool movies from there. I haven't seen as many. I want to go see The Disaster Artist. I meant to go see that.
I saw that movie. James Franco's performance as Tommy Wiseau is pretty spot on. A lot of times the movie kind of loses base on why The Room was funny to begin with, but it was still a really interesting look at the whole story behind it and Tommy Wiseau as a character, and it's just super interesting, and you can tell that everyone involved in the making of the movie was super passionate about the project, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one that I do want to see it, and that's probably one of the few, like one of the last movies I want to see for this year before like Oscar nominations are announced, and I'll go watch the movies that looked interesting.
Yeah, keep in mind this is being recorded January 3rd as well. Again, not to keep beating that dead horse.
Yeah. My favorite movie this year, I mean, my personal favorite, probably the best movie I saw this year was 3 Billboards. I don't think anything's going to top that.
It was surprisingly good. The trailers didn't look
Baby
good.
Driver.
3 Billboards was really good.
Baby Driver, fantastic. That was one of the coolest movies I've seen. I know you haven't seen that one, but I highly suggest it to anybody who wants to see just a really well done action movie.
I need to see Baby Driver. I need to see Brigsby Bear because Brigsby Bear has Kyle Mooney and Mark Hamill. I needed to see that movie.
You know, the Brigsby Bear is really cool because it's it's like Kyle, like old Kyle to me. It doesn't seem like SNL Kyle where he's kind of doesn't get his full potential. It's like really like he plays his character very well. Yes, him and his one friend that he did videos with on the one YouTube channel, they wrote it. Yeah, they wrote it. He doesn't play as big of a role in the movie. He plays a pretty small role compared to, because Kyle's the main character, but I know he co-wrote it with Kyle.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool to see, Kyle go from YouTube, star to SNL to pitching a movie to Mark Hamill, and I don't know if he pitched it to Mark Hamill, but getting Mark Hamill in his movie, that's got to be pretty cool. It's got to be a pretty exciting process.
Yeah, Briggs is probably my third favorite movie this year. It's really fucking good. It's my favorite movie I saw at that film festival. But that was really good. I saw a lot of really good movies this year.
I still need to see Star Wars.
Get Out was really good. Star Wars was good. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was really good. There were a lot of good movies, and then there were some that were kind of, Spider-Man was okay.
I did not see Spider-Man. No one wanted to see Spider-Man with me. I asked a bunch of people, do you want to see Spider-Man with me? Everyone's like, no, I don't want to see Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was fun.
Like, I like Spider-Man. No one wanted to see Spider-Man with me.
Spider-Man is cool. I think it's fine. It was better than I expected. Like, Spider-Man... Because I was not a fan of little boy Spider-Man, but I enjoyed...
Did you enjoy in Spider-Man 3
when
he became Black Spider-Man and listened to jazz and snapped his fingers at people on the street and spun around? That was hilarious.
I do enjoy. I am one of the few people that is a fan of that scene.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
A lot of people like to go.
Binks in Star Wars.
It's funny.
It's annoying. Everyone hates it,
it's
but
funny.
It's kind of funny. Like, let's be real here, people.
That's why it's funny. I did laugh at it, and it's one of those things where it's like I laughed at it, and it's not even like maybe it's only funny to me because of how bad it is, but that's still like I've always been a little more like I can be critical of movies, but I will say if a movie is bad or has moments that are bad. Like, Star Wars, the new one, has a lot of moments that I find bad, but I also find them funny to the point that I'm like, I'm getting some enjoyment out of this. Like, I can't objectively go, this is bad, because I'm still laughing at this. Like, it's bringing some enjoyment for me. Whereas, like, movies that can't even make me laugh when they're bad is just like, well, there's just no redeemable factors to this.
I don't know. The first few Star Wars prequels were pretty abysmal. Episode 3 is obviously good. Some of the latter halves of episode 2. Episode 1 was just fucking. Let's be real here. It's
a solid 10 minutes of it that were good, and that's bad. About it.
Right.
Pretty heckin' bad.
Pretty heckin' bad.
My aunt got me that for Christmas. Oh, yeah? She got me the first 3 episodes of Star Wars, and I was kind of like, I was like, cool. I guess I'll have like more to my collection, but it's one of those where I looked at it and it was like, I really only want one of these movies. The only one I'll actually go back to and watch is episode 3.
Yeah, I mean the Star Wars they're hit or miss with me.
Yeah, okay. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Even when there's a bad Star Wars movie, I'm just a fan of the series. And again, I was a fan of the series as the prequels as a kid. Now, granted, I've grown up and been like, oh, that was like I've heard people go like they were like. I remember people talking about the prequels going, I think I felt like I was supposed to like it because I was a kid and it was like Star Wars again, but I saw it and I don't think I liked it. I don't know if that's true. But I am wondering, like, I would love to hear someone who was like an adult who saw Star Wars when it came out and went to go see the new Star Wars. I would really love to hear what someone heard of the first, like what they thought of the first episode. Because like...
Oh, you can find like Reddit posts where people have asked that, and I've read through it. I forget what the answers primarily were, but I think it was a lot of just like, what, you know?
Oh, I'm sure it was a disappointment, but I bet I can almost guarantee it was like, oh, we're okay with this, or
we're doing this now. All right. I don't know. Do you wanna move on, or
yes,
keep discussing movies?
Oh, we can move on. I think I am okay. I'm not a fan of it either of the Paul boys, the Paul Bearers,
Logansters. Is
other names for them.
Is what he calls his fans.
Well, there's Jake Paul and Logan. They're brothers. They're both fucking dumb.
I didn't know they were related.
I saw it, and I'll admit, I think he's done some dumb things. I wasn't expecting that. Like, genuinely, out of all the things that I thought he would have done that was dumb for him to do, I didn't expect him to film a dead body.
Yeah.
So that was,
You didn't expect
that was interesting. No. I remember people were talking about it, and I just ignored it. And then I think actually, Critical, posted something. and he was talking about it, so I was like, oh, I'll go check it out, and I was like, holy shit, he did this.
Right.
And I was just like, here's the thing. It's one thing to go make a video and do it at that area, whatever.
Right.
I don't know
like
why you had the
idea
idea to do
of doing
it.
a video in a suicide forest would be something that we would probably do because we're stupid. But
yeah.
I feel like once we discover a dead body, we go, this was a silly idea. Let's just do take this
and
elsewhere.
So you're allowed to make a mistake. You're allowed to
absolutely.
do something dumb like that. You're allowed to record. With that said, you have full control. Yeah, you have full control of what's seen because you edit these. You upload it.
It'd be a different scenario if it like leaked online. Like, oh, I found this video on Logan's like laptop where he's like seeing dead bodies and stuff. I mean, it'd be pretty crazy, and you'd have to be like, hey guys, just want to let you know that was not uploaded for a reason. I just still can't believe it happened,
Yeah, that was one of those things where it was a surprise for me, and then people can be mad if they want. And he's already a hated person, so the fact that he made this mistake just basically meant...
The first contact I had with Logan Paul videos was he had a video where he like pretended to be colorblind and wore those like see colors again glasses and did the whole like, oh my god type videos. And at first I was like, this seems really fake, but I don't know, it has a lot of likes. I'm sure this guy really does have it. I shouldn't be judging him, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, whatever. And then I saw, a video somewhere else where it was like, oh hey, he actually faked it. And
should have judged him.
Whatever, fine. And I forgot about him for a while, and this stuff happened. But what interests me more than him going out into the woods and filming a dead body, as awful as that is the fans' reactions. I have here, let me find out what Reddit user posted this. It's Syzygy XVII. It's SYZYGY.
We calling you out.
No. He posted a link of screenshots he took on Reddit of Logan Paul fans defending him. And I'm just gonna read through some of them because I think it's pretty astonishing here. This first one here says, at Logan Paul, you did the right thing, Logan. Then someone responds, he really didn't. And that girl responds, I understand that, but he also gave a speech on how if you're in a rough time, you're not alone. So he did the right thing. That's the first one. Do you have any thoughts about that?
So here's the thing with Logan Paul fans. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of the same. I actually read through some of the comments myself, one of which when somebody made fun of Logan Paul or said that he was a fucking idiot, in response, a Logan Paul fan told the person who was talking bad about Logan Paul to go to the suicide forest and kill themselves. So that was the response that they had to it. I think that...
I saw, just not to interrupt you or anything, but I saw one of the comments was like, it's okay, Logan, even if you killed someone, I wouldn't judge, or something along those lines.
And so these are fans... and most of these fans, not all of them, but most of these fans are the same fans that Rice Gum has, or Jake Paul, or all them, and they're mainly children, all right? Because they're the type of people who can get behind this kind of YouTube drama.
You have
drama.
Such a big following, I'm sure you encompass a large sect of the human population.
Oh, I'm sure there are more. I'm just saying, I imagine a lot of the people are young teenagers or young children are the ones.
45 watching Logan Paul.
No, no. But I'm saying like 20 is a stretch. Like if you're 20, you're a very immature 21 or 20-year-old to be doing that. But like to put into perspective for this girl responding, I'm sure she's a nice person who's a little misguided trying to defend her favorite, because I've sometimes, when Kevin Spacey came out, I had trouble, but now I can still look at it when it's like really bad. I go, oh yeah, no, he did something bad. Like I'm not going to defend these actions. And honestly, you can still be a fan of him if you want.
Unless you prove that it didn't happen, it's like, but yeah.
And I think you're allowed to be a fan of someone and look past something bad they did if you enjoy their content, but you have to acknowledge when they do bad things.
Right. A lot of my favorite
you can't pretend that they didn't.
Assholes, but I mean, it doesn't prevent me from listening to their music. I just, I realize what's happening in the medium itself is their expression of who they are, but it's still oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Crazy
I think well, here's the thing. It's public relations. Is what it is. It's
So what this girl thinks is that he did the right thing by being like, okay, he said if you're having a rough time, you should go. And that's true. That is what you should do if you're dealing with suicide.
Him making a video saying
with
if you're in
that
a rough
said,
time doesn't excuse a whole like suicide exploitation video.
He's also covering up. He's also covering up everything he just did. So it's not like
it's like when Caitlyn Jenner killed that guy and then all of a sudden became transgender.
Yeah. It's like now it's one. Don't get me wrong. But it's also like what he could have done was I made a mistake. I can't defend what I did. I was immature, whatever, blah, blah, blah. See how people react. Some people are going to hate you no matter what, so whatever. Then you can try helping, like, somebody brought up, like, a solution you could have made is, donate to, like, help suicide prevention and stuff like that. Like, that's a thing that you can actually do to help rather than just being like, you should deal. Because that feels more genuine than just saying, like, oh, you should, if you're having a rough time, go talk to somebody. Because while that's true, I don't think he really means it, or it wouldn't have said it had it not been for all the backlash he's getting.
Right, yeah, I mean, you have a funny feeling that if no one caught on to this, he would have been like, oh, to the next video, probably. I mean, it sucks, but sure.
Oh, I think this is going to absolutely, this is absolutely going to kill him, in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention to the YouTube drama stuff a whole lot, but I don't know. This one's pretty crazy to me because at first I was like, oh, YouTube drama, whatever. They do stupid stuff all the time, and then it was getting picked up by like actual news outlets, and people were like, oh my, this doesn't even do it justice how disgusting what he did was. And I was like, okay, let me do research, and I was like, oh, he filmed a dead body. Okay, that's kind of bad. It can't be real, right? Go on Google, look up the actual video, and I'm like, oh, well, that's real. Oh, jeez. And then I see these videos where it's like, Logan, it's okay. People are just doing too much. What if they were in situation, but you are still my role model. Love you, Logan. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I guess I appreciate your enthusiasm and your support. And this person says, Logan Paul, personally, I see nothing wrong with the video. He posts something to create awareness and very important topic, and he's disgusting, ? Come on, guys, give him another chance. And just a bunch of stuff like that. And it's just kind of like, just acknowledge it. Like, he did a stupid thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just really the fans that just kind of get behind it and don't really just...
Yeah. It's dumb. Okay, he did not go to that forest. I can almost guarantee... He did not go to that forest to spread awareness. He was gonna walk in there with a banner. Suicide. No, that's not why he's there.
No,
okay.
He even said it himself. He was like, "We're gonna explore the more paranormal
what would be the point?
Aspect of the forest is why we came here." And sure, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cool idea in theory.
Exactly.
But when you find a dead body yourself, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to like.
We don't exploit. I did see a funny joke. Let me see if I can find it. It was
we need to wrap this up here because we do have a data limit now.
Yeah. What did he say? Somebody. Okay, let me go to likes. I'm sorry. You can keep talking. Oh, here it is. It said, "Imagine killing yourself just to end up in a Logan Paul video." I thought that was pretty. That was pretty funny.
It says, "Ching Chang Chong, shut the fuck up, you suicide faggots! Let the Japs kill themselves. Lojang for life." It was a post I read earlier today. I know. It sounds like a John Snapchat. But...
Jesus. Listen, the guy is a piece of shit. I mean, I've already known that he's he's not a great person.
Video, but
it's just so stupid. Like, that's one of those things where it's one thing that you did this. It's another that you went through with posting it.
I mean, because you had to imagine he had to sit on it for, at least some amount of time. I was going to say a day, but I was thinking about it it could have been a couple hours and he still should have, thought about it. I don't know.
It's still one of those things where I'm like, there's no way you just were like, all right, let's upload this. Like, you had to sit there and think, I saw a dead body today. I saw somebody who killed themselves, and I am okay with putting this on the internet.
You have to think about the person, because he obviously went through like a shit time in life, and then you're just being like filled. Could you imagine if you were being bullied all your life and everyone would really surround you and laugh at you and like make jokes at your expense? Then you kill yourself and a bunch of high school jocks come to your like suicide area of death and just surround you and film you. And they didn't make jokes. They were obviously pretty, touched by it in some way. It still doesn't excuse what they did. But like, just to be surrounded by all of them and be like acknowledged, like,
right?
It's uploaded to YouTube. I don't know. It just seems rather disrespectful to that man's life.
Yeah, and the laughing about it and all that, it was just distasteful. It wasn't funny. It is just, and it wouldn't have been funny even if they were telling real jokes, because like, this is a dead guy. Like if somebody chose to take their own life, that's not, that tends to not be funny. Like, it's hard to, well, you can make suicide jokes. There's a difference between making suicide jokes and specifically laughing at a human being that did it. Like, that's when you keep it vague, it's not, because then it becomes personal. Like, that's not cool. Right. That's just being a dick.
Well, I mean, I don't want to touch upon this too much because, again, this episode's coming out later, and it's honestly, I don't want to spend too much time on YouTube drama. But it was just something that was on my mind, and I wanted to just throw it out there for a topic,
Yeah. I'm with you. I didn't check it out when I first heard about it because I don't care about YouTube drama, and then I eventually just kind of
once I saw it getting actually picked up, I was like, huh, but what happened, And even when I was watching it, I was like, it was probably faked or something, right? Until actually I saw it, and I was like, oh, no, he didn't fake that one. No, that was,
Is that, and then, I keep up with some of, like, I don't look for YouTube drama. I will admit, like, when the rice gum and fucking iDubbbz thing.
I used to watch
hate Keemstar.
And then he got
I know you're a fan.
Hey dudes and dudettes, this is Zachary Marshall from the Sub-Exiled Show here. As I'm sure you're aware by now, this recording got a little messed up there. Right, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I just spent, a couple hours trying to edit this thing, and it was pretty awful because my audio was pretty bad. We just spent a lot of money on these expensive mics, hoping that it sounded better, and Ethan's seemed to be fine. Boy, did I mess mine up. I tried to use a secondary audio program to make it sound a little better, and it worked at first, but then it just sounded bad during this recording. It had this humming, and then I'm pretty sure I was holding it the wrong way, so it sounded all muffled too. I apologize. Hopefully this recording is a little more representative of the quality we can bring to the show, but that's besides the point. I'm not sure exactly where I cut this. We'll have to see. Not sure where exactly it went wrong yet. I'll have to make a decision on that. There are a few points that weren't touched upon in this episode. I'm going to bring them back a little bit in the next one. And the next episode, again, should hopefully be a little more fiery. It got better towards the end there. Again, we're just trying to get in our groove. I should have prepared a little more, to be honest, but we just wanted to start delivering content to you. And as Ethan mentioned earlier in this episode, and I wasn't entirely sure when he mentioned it, I do think we're going to release the episodes one day early on this site. I'm not sure what days yet. I'm sure you'll know by now. I'll probably put it in the description of this episode because I'm sure I know by now. But yeah, I found a way to do it. So I think on hypnotichub.com, the episode is going to come out one day early. I'm thinking it's going to come out on Tuesday. And then on iTunes, Stitcher, I'm not entirely sure about what other platforms it's going to be on. I'm looking into a few other ones. It'll all be uploaded there. One of the topics that I didn't really get to touch on too much on this recording was me getting a traffic violation and having to go to court. But I have new developments on that, so I'll bring that up, and there should be some fresh shit even for us to discuss. I'm not entirely sure how funny I was going to be on this recording. Turns out not a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the new website. There should be a post under, I'm not sure if I'm going to call it the news or updates quite yet, but I'm sure you can find it if you go under podcasts. I'm going to be recording the updates for the site via audio on here. And just go on the podcast. I'm sure it'll be called news or something. Click on that, and I'll be explaining all the features of the website, what you can be expecting, what's already on here, how you can support the show, a bunch of different stuff. It's way too much for me to get into right now. I'm going to bore you to death. Absolutely. So yeah, just have fun. The most you can guys really do is just kind of watch and listen to the stuff I'm putting out here. If anyone is interested in producing content for the website, please contact me. I'm looking for as much people as possible. Yeah, that pretty much does it right there, fellas. Goodbye, Gary, Indiana. See you on the next episode of the Sub-Exiled Show. I'm pretty excited. We're doing this shit again, and this is gonna work. This is gonna work.